My name is Dennis Boyce, and I am 14 years old.
And I'm Martel Herring. I am 14 years old.
We interviewed John Canning on October 23rd, 2008.
I played Little League baseball in Brighton Heights. I wasn't a very good baseball player. You know that because I always played second string right field. So that says it all. But I played with a team called the Brighton Juniors and then with another team called the Brighton Community Club. And I did that because my father and my uncle were very involved in starting an athletic organization that's now called the Brighton Heights Athletic Association. I was born here on the North Side in 1939. Which was a couple of years before World War II began. I grew up in an area that was very close to Riverview Park, and so I spent a lot of time with my friends in Riverview Park. We had a neighborhood where there seemed to be a lot of children, so we played a lot of street games, and we were fortunate to have sort of an empty field behind the streets where we lived, so we played football in the field and baseball in the field and set a few fires in the field and got into trouble in the field. We would date as a group. Oftentimes we would walk to the movies. At that time, sometimes we'd go to the movie in Manchester, which was called the Hippodrome on Beaver Avenue. Sometimes we went to the movie just beyond the city in Bellevue. Sometimes we went to the movie that was called the Perry Theater, which was right next door to where Perry High School is. It's now part of Perry High School, but originally that was a movie theater. But most of us went to a little theater right down at the corner of Brighton Road and Woods Run Avenue called the Paramount. And we would go as a group, and we went roller skating when we were in 8th grade. We would all take the trolley car into town, and there was a big roller skating rink above the Market House in what is now Market Square. So we would go down and roller skate there. And sometimes we convince our parents to drive us to the roller skating rink on Neville Island that's still there. And we would go down to Neville Island and roller skate. My wife and I have 2 daughters. One's an art teacher in the city schools in the area around Allentown and Belts Hoover. And my other daughter is a community activist. Both of my daughters live on the North Side. And then my one daughter, Johnnie, has an 8-year-old son whose name is Blaze, who goes to Max. And so every day, my wife and I drive him down to Liverpool Street to go to school. Dr. Canning and I got married in 1971. I met her on an airplane going to Europe. She was going to study at Oxford University, and I was going to just hang out in Europe in different places. A typical day in the summer when I was your age, now remember, when I was in 8th grade, I was delivering papers, so I had to be available every day at 3 o'clock to pick up my papers and deliver them from 3 to about 4:30 or 5. So my day would be in the summer. I'd spend time during the day swimming at Riverview Park or going up into the park with friends and bicycling in the park. Sometimes when I was in 8th grade, we would bicycle to swimming pools in Avalon or in Bellevue. My next-door neighbor, his dad, worked down in Manchester at a big plant there called Alice Chalmers. Sometimes we'd ride our bikes down Woods Run Avenue and go down into that part of Manchester where his dad worked. But we all had a little bit of money in our pockets because we all earned some money delivering papers. At that time, newspapers sold for a nickel apiece, and for every paper you delivered, you got a penny. So I got a penny a paper, but I was telling someone the other day, my friends and I, we like to go to movies in downtown Pittsburgh. And if we had $1, usually on Monday or Tuesday is when we had made our collections. So we had a pocket full of quarters and dimes, and we would go to downtown Pittsburgh. We'd go on the trolley car. It was 10 cents each way. We go to the first movie of the day in the really big theaters in downtown. Heinz Hall was a big movie theater called the Penn Theater. The Benedum Theater was a big movie house called the Stanley. There was another one where the Byam Theater is. That was called the Fulton. And you could go to the first movie of the day. And then we would go and we would have a full turkey dinner at the cafeteria in Woolworth's 5 and 10 cent store for 60 cents. So we could have transportation into town, out of town, see a first-rate movie, and have a turkey dinner and spend just about $1, $1.05. My dad was a salesman. He sold life insurance. So he was gone a lot because salesmen had to do a lot of their work in the evenings. So he would be gone a lot. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She primarily took care of the house. We had her mother living with us. So we had my grandmother, and my mother and my dad and my sister that lived in our house. And then 2 houses away, we used to say 2 doors away, my other grandmother lived. So I sort of had 2 houses close by. We had a lot of sibling rivalries. In my house, we always laugh about it now. But somewhere in my family, someone had given my grandmother a big, heavy brass elephant, but it was solid brass. And whenever I would reach the point where my sister would get so mad at me, she'd pick this up and say, "I'm going to throw this right at your head."